Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome back to the space where we awaken, realign, and remember who we truly are. Take a deep breath with me now. Inhale clarity. Exhale the noise. Because today we're talking about something that changes everything. Awareness. And not just awareness, but self-awareness. The moment you truly understand this too, your life will never feel the same again. There's a story I love to tell. Imagine you're walking through life wearing foggy glasses. You know the foggy glasses, the ones that are not clear. You see shapes, people, and moments, but everything is blurry. It's not clear. You wake up, you scroll through your phone, you rush through the day, react to messages, and fall back asleep again, only to repeat the same cycle over and over again. Well, that was me once. I was doing life, I was not living it. And everything felt like noise until, that period, that pandemic period when it literally was as if, everything was on hold. People that had work were advised to work from home. Students were prevented from going to school. And yes, I was a student during the pandemic period. And that was the first time I had a long break. Like, I was not doing anything. I just had to just be and be still for a while. So it happened to be that I lost a loved one before the pandemic 2019. And so I was still mourning around that period. So for a lot of people, pandemic was fun and vibes for them. But for me, pandemic was the moment I had to take a step back and face all the pain and piled up pain that I never knew I had within me, because even prior to losing the loved one, I went through a very traumatic experience that, still remained in my body at that time, but I was not aware of it. So I was moving through life with all of these baggages and smiling my way through life and believing that I was fine. But I had parts of myself that needed to be heard. I shoved those parts down. I didn't want to confront those parts. I just had to keep being strong. Sometimes, yes, it's good to be strong. It's good to stay strong. But it's okay to also confront those feelings of those moments when you feel so low. It's okay for you to recognize those moments, feel those feelings, and let them go, because when you don't do this, it gets stuck in your body. It gets stuck and it becomes a blocked energy. Like it's just gets stuck in your body. And until you sit with those emotions and make peace with it, you would probably have to carry it in your body. And this can cause, blockage to some points in your body that energy flows in and out of your chakras. But we're going to talk about that later on along our journey. So 2020 was a very transformational year for me. And you guys, I'm digressing, but for some reason I feel very inspired to talk about this. 2020 was my transformational year. Like I said before, I lost a very dear loved one 2019. So I had to deal with my emotion, deal with the heavy emotions the best way I knew at that time, the best way I knew how to deal with it. And I'm just telling you all of this so that you can understand what awareness does in one's life. Once you become aware, you will see how it's very important that you're actually aware, because it helps you to navigate your emotions, the heavy ones, the light ones. Awareness helps you to see clearly and helps you to know how to act when you're faced with certain situations and circumstances. So 2019, I handled my emotions the best way I knew, as at that time, the best way I knew I could handle it. Then 2020, pandemic happened, and I was forced to deal with myself. I was forced to face me and actually get to know me. So we started with me trying to, research. I was doing a research then, because I've always been somebody that I love to make plans. I love to know what is next. I'm very innovative. I love trying to know the next thing that I want to go out for and do for myself. So I was thinking of how to add value to myself. I was researching on how I could add value to myself. And then along the line, my very close friend, she was my very, very close friend, and she is still my very close friend. So at that time, she also lost a beloved dear one. May their soul rest in peace. So we started doing some research about, so I was researching on how I could add value to myself, because of the kind of person that I am. I love value, I love quality, I love quality things, quality people. I want to build the best quality of life possible for myself, and I wish to also influence people the right way, inspire people to live the best quality of life, because you came here to experience life, and of course you want to experience life in the best quality of way. So that research led to sharing ideas with my very good friend at that time, and from there we delved into, because of the pain that we were feeling, we were grieving our loved ones, we delved into trying to find out what happened, like what led to this that led to their death. So along the line, we went into research. We started researching about health, and we started seeing things from a whole different view, like everything that you have ever known. Like, how would you feel when you find out that like 99.99999 of what you think you know or of what you know is actually a lie. That shock, the shock that comes with that realization. Yes, that was exactly how I felt. So I went further, and as we were doing this research, we were applying it into our lives and we were seeing the results immediately. So when we started the research about health, we started learning a whole lot of things along the line. And, we started unlearning and relearning. We became students again automatically. Like during the pandemic, my very close friend and I, we were students. We were learning about different aspects of life. Everything that you've ever known has been twisted upside down. But I'm going to share more. I'm going to give you guys more details about all of these things along our journey. I just want to summarize how and when I started becoming more aware, and when I keyed into myself and keyed into this self-awareness, and how it changed my life. So it was truly a shocker for me, that period when I started doing research on my own and learning all of these things and unlearning a whole lot of things that I've been taught or that I grew up with. That period, I even had to detach from my friends and family for a while, because I could feel my whole world collapsing right in front of me. I could see it. So I knew it was time for me to rebuild. And that was when my introspection journey started. I had to go within myself to, rearrange the patterns, to rearrange myself and my life. Yes, with time, you're all gonna understand where I'm coming from. So we started working towards, improving our health and improving every area of our life. We started learning about finance. In fact, anything we had interest in, we started learning. We became students again. We started on learning everything that we've ever known and relearning, the actual thing that we are meant to know, the main thing that you're meant to equip yourself with in this journey of life. So that is why now I have a little bit idea of I have an idea of a little bit of everything. And so that period made me to become more aware. That's just what I'm trying to say, because I had the time. I was not distracted with school or assignments or hanging out with friends or all of these external things that we do to distract ourselves. I actually, looked inward and conversed with myself. I realized that I am not my thoughts. I am not my body. My best friend asked me that question one day, and it felt so weird. I remember her asking me, if I'm saying that this is my hand and this is my eyes and this, so what am I? Because for you to say that this is that means you're not that thing. That thing is a part of you. So who are you? It's a very strange question when you think about it deeply, but we are just spiritual beings having human experiences, and we don't know this. You have to become aware for you to realize this. And so that unlocked a whole lot of things. It made me realize that the thoughts that you see clouding in your head can be reprogrammed. You get to decide what you want to, accept into your thoughts, accept into your horrific field. We're going to go in on all of these things, trust me. But for now, I just want to take you guys step by step and walk with you guys it's this guide. It's something I wish I saw beginning, like when I was beginning to awaken, but maybe, just maybe, I was actually made for this moment, like to create something beautiful like this for anybody and for everybody that wants to reform their lives and find themselves again. So with all of that being said, let's continue talking about the topic we have today, which is awareness. So what is awareness? When you say awareness, what does it mean? Awareness is that quiet observer that is inside you. It's not your thoughts, not your feelings, not your fears. It's the space that notices them all. That tiny inner knowing, that tiny inner form that notices your thoughts, your feelings, and all of the emotions that you're going through and all of the things that your body is telling you. Because if you're paying attention, your body and everything that is connected to you is always saying something to you. So the more you build this awareness, the more you understand the language of who you are, of your embodiment, of your person, of yourself. Awareness is that still, silent consciousness that sees you thinking, that sees you feeling, and sees you reacting. Do you understand? It's like light. Without it, nothing can be seen. Without awareness, we move unconsciously through life, like actors who forgot they are in a play. You know that kind of scenario where you're acting, but you don't know your role. You don't even know that you're acting. That's how it feels like when you're unaware. Okay, so you need to remember that you're here for something. Like, you're not just living through life like a zombie, taking in orders and absorbing everybody's expectations and advices. You need to quickly remember that you are in control of your life. You make decisions that are good for you. You are meant to be aware of what you accept and what you don't want to accept. So that is what I want to bring you guys back into. I want to bring you guys back into knowing that you have the ability and the power to choose and not choose anything. Okay? So when your awareness shines through, you begin to see life, not through memory or conditioning or expectations, but through presence. You become when you are aware, you're now living in the present moment. You're living in your body. You're noticing every single thing that is happening around you, and you get to decide on how to respond to anything instead of responding subconsciously like a robot. You take your time and calm down and think before you take any step or any action or any decision, because you know that everything comes with its own consequences. So awareness gives you back the power of choice. Before awareness, you find out that you've been reacting to life. But once you become aware, once you've recognized what awareness truly is, you begin to respond to life instead. You realize that your thoughts are not facts. Your emotions are not forever. They come and go. Like, there are times when you're very happy, and there are times when you just feel like crying, and there are times when you just don't feel any way. You're just there, and you know that your circumstances, they don't define your essence. Your essence is forever. Your essence is infinity. Your essence is infinite source. So whatever it is that you're going through or that you find yourself in does not define who you are as a spiritual being or how powerful you are. Do you guys understand? So it's the moment you stop being a leaf in the wind and you become the wind itself. You take full control of your life. Awareness isn't something you force. It's something that you gradually return to. So I advise for you to start small. When you breathe, just breathe consciously, like take in your breath, feel the air pass through your nostrils, feel it pass through the hairs of your nose. When you eat, you masticate your food properly, like you eat, you taste what you're eating. You pay attention to how the meal tastes in your mouth. When you walk, you feel your feet touching the ground. You sway your hips if you're a lady. If you're a man, you chest out your shoulders and feel your muscles and feel yourself. Awareness is when you begin to bring in presence back into everything that you do. Even when you want to pick something up, you add presence to it because you are aware of what you're doing. So you add your essence to it. Let me put it like that. So when emotions rise, don't rush to fix them. Just observe it. Observation itself, it's healing. Because when those emotions arise and you just sit with it and just observe it, you're creating this free energy flow in your body. Instead of ignoring it or trying to suppress it, it's going to lock in your body. There's not going to be free flow of energy in your body. So you have to always observe any thoughts that you're feeling, but don't hold on to it. Observe it and let it go. I want you guys to do this little practice at night. You journal and ask yourself these questions. What did I feel today? What triggered me? What did I learn about myself today? What was I thinking about the most today? When you pay attention to these questions and you're able to answer these questions when you ask yourself, you will be surprised how much your inner world will start to reveal itself when you just simply ask these questions and listen to the responses that would arise to you. Now, awareness deepens into self-awareness when you turn that light inwards. And this was exactly what I went through during that phase of pandemic in my life. In the process of trying to find answers, I was just forced to go inward first. I had to start with myself. I had to start asking myself some questions. I had to sit in with these thoughts, these questions. Who am I being right now? What's driving my choices? Does this version of me feel true? Does this align with what I want? Am I being true to myself if I accept this thing? It's not about judging yourself. It's about seeing yourself clearly, understanding what works for you, understanding your rhythm, understanding, what feels good to you and what doesn't. Because until you see, you can't shift. I remember one day I was triggered by someone. I was really triggered by the person. The person made a comment, and The comments triggered me, and I almost reacted instantly. But I stopped. I noticed that shift, the trigger, the reaction that I almost gave off. I caught it. And I realized that most times when people act out on impulse, they are not actually doing it consciously. Most impulsive reactions you see is something that has been cultivated in one's subconscious mind. Is learned behaviors over the years. Is something that, I don't know how to explain it, but it's something that has been built up in that person through what the person usually see or what the person absorbs growing up as a child. Yes, that one is actually one of the is topping the list. Whatever a child absorbs when they're growing up, it reflects in how they respond to anything and everyone in life. So that moment, I saw the little part of me that wanted to, defend myself, to prove something, to be right. But I held myself, I caught myself, and instead of reacting, I just took a breath in and out and let it go. That moment I had a serious epiphany, because that was when I realized that I have started applying what I was learning. That moment was the moment of self-awareness for me. So when I talk about self-awareness, is you catching yourself in those little moments that you would have done something that when you look back, it will feel like, am I the one that did this? And for real, like, it's like you're not the one that did it, but you're the one that did it, because that reaction came from your subconscious mind. You were not aware of it. It was not your conscious mind that responded at that moment. So you being self-aware doesn't mean you won't feel those feelings, no. But you see, it means that, like, you will see the feeling before it takes over you. That is what self-awareness is. You see that feeling, you see that reaction that would have escaped at that minute of that moment, and you will catch it and you will just breathe and let it go. Psychologists say there are two forms of self-awareness. Private self-awareness, that is knowing what happens or what is happening inside of you, and public self-awareness, and that is knowing how you show up to others. When both are balanced, you become magnetic. Balance is something that has to happen in life for everything to make sense. Everything has to be balanced. You have to find a way to make everything in your life balanced. If not, everything will be chaotic and there will be a lot of chaos in your life. So back to what we're talking about. When you begin to take note of this awareness in your life, you notice that you stop needing people's validation, because you are beginning to know who you are and understand yourself and the power you hold within. You also notice that you stop projecting pain. whatever it is that you're going through, whatever uneasiness, whatever pain or whatever sadness, you won't project it because you've already met with it. You've already sat with it and let it go. You see, some people move around life, move around with a lot of piled up anger and emotions. I can remember when I went to work one day and my boss was really mad, and I was just observing and just paying attention to the way he transferred the anger. And not just my boss is not the only person that is guilty of this. Most of us that are listening to me right now are very guilty of it. In fact, as a matter of fact, if this would make you guys more happy, I used to also be guilty as charged. I used to be like, when I'm mad, I could transfer it to the people around me. That was when I lacked self-awareness. I can't catch myself doing that now. When I'm angry, I sit with it, I meet with it and let it go and try not to project it. So anyways, all of this happens when emotional intelligence and spiritual maturity merge. When emotional intelligence and spiritual maturity merge, you find out that you become unstoppable, like you are in full control of your emotions, and that is a very beautiful thing, or that is a very beautiful place to attain. So let's think of awareness as like a sunlight that fills the sky, and self-awareness is that same light reflected in the mirror. So awareness wakes up wakes you up to life. It makes you to know what this whole place is all about. Awareness makes you to see patterns, to see things for how it is objectively, without any emotions attached to it. When you become aware, when you're moving through life with awareness, you are looking from like the ego's eye perspective. You are looking like from like a third person, as if you're an observer of life, like you're seeing things objectively. You're not adding any meaning or emotions to it. You're just seeing things and looking at it as it is. So awareness wakes you up to life. Then self-awareness wakes you up to yourself. So the same way that with awareness, you're observing things and it's like a bird's eye view, right? That is the same way for self-awareness. You are watching yourself. You are watching your patterns. You are seeing the things that make you do what you do. You are seeing the things that make you repeat certain things or certain patterns in your life. You are seeing the things that drive you, the things that make you cry, the things that make you sad, the things that make you happy. You are getting to know yourself from within. You are learning who you are. When you become self-aware, you become so powerful and indestructible. I'm telling you, it's going to be very hard before someone breaks your spirit. So yeah, together, this awareness and self-awareness, when they work together, they open the door to inner freedom. Awareness isn't a one-time event. If you're thinking that, okay, now I'm aware and that's it, nah. It's a daily practice. It's remembering again and again and again who you truly are beneath all the noise, beneath all the labels, beneath the ideals, beneath the roles, beneath this mask that we are all putting on at some point. We are all putting on masks in life, as far as I'm concerned. People are not being genuine. People are not being who they truly are, So when you're aware, you begin to feel the sacred rhythm of your own existence. You begin to live from your authenticity. You begin to become more authentic in everything that you do. Your life, your essence reflects in what you do, in everything you do, because you're self-aware. That's your superpower. Okay? You start to notice how even silence speaks. You notice how pain, every single pain that you go through, or every single disappointment that you face, is teaching you something. It's happening because it's happened so that you take note of something, so that you will learn something, so that it will shift your perspective to notice something. You have to be self-aware in order for you to perceive all of these things I'm saying. It even shows you how some endings, some things that you thought that happened to, finish you or make your life totally ruined. You notice how these things even whisper beautiful beginnings and new beginnings, fresh starts. A lot of us are afraid to start afresh. A lot of us are afraid to not succeed in something and move on to something else. We always want to stick with the familiar. That's how our brains were programmed. But I want you to know that once you start becoming self-aware, you will notice how it's okay for some things to just die out or die off naturally, and for new things to unfold in our lives. And from that space of knowing and of being self-aware, life becomes an unfolding miracle. It becomes an adventure. Awareness isn't a destination, guys. Okay? It's a daily practice. Some days you feel clear, some days you feel confused. Trust me, both of them are all parts of the journey. Embrace each and every moment, and however you feel. Okay? Enjoy every moment. And the more you see yourself, the more you heal. So look at yourself the way you wish somebody would look at you, would listen to you, would care for you. Do it to yourself. Start with yourself. Show yourself that love, that appreciation, that awareness. Pour all of those things that you wish someone would do for you into yourself first. Okay? Because the more you see yourself, the more you heal. And the more you heal, the more you awaken. And when you awaken, you begin to create your life from truth. That same truth I told you guys that we are going to be working with, that is the whole essence of this my channel, working with truth. So this time around, you create your life from truth. You live from your highest truth. Not from trauma, not from pain, not from regrets or shame or guilt. Okay? You guys, I want the best for you. So, my beautiful soul, as you move forward, as you move into your daily lives and daily activities, I want you to practice one thing for me, and that is awareness. Right? Before you speak, take a breath. Before you react, pause. before you rush, feel. Because awareness is freedom and self-awareness is transformation. And the moment you start seeing consciously, you begin to reclaim your life from the whole noise, from the distraction. Thank you for being here, for awakening with me. Remember, awareness is where all the healing begins. I love you, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.